Hello and welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Eric, joined once again with
Hey, how you going, guys?
it's Bevan. We're bringing you some more Dallas, season 6. Tell me all the credits and we'll chat. Season 6 episodes, what, 7 and 9, right?
7 and 9, yeah.
I of course have to bring up, which I messaged you earlier about, Alice Herson, who passed away, who played Mavis.
Mm.
Mavis Anderson, Punk Anderson's wife on Dallas. From 82 to 88, she passed away the other day. I didn't even know she was still alive. She was 95 years old. God bless her. So of course I always look these people up, and she was in a ton of soaps. It's like she goes back, dude. She I don't even know where to start. Um, Edge of Night. She was in General Hospital in 1982, Another World in 1970, One Life to Live, 71 to 76. A soap called Somerset, which was way before us, 70 to 72. She was an original cast member of that. Um, she was in an episode of Flamingo Road. I forget if I mentioned Loving. She was in Loving. Um, and she was also, I thought was interesting. She was the voice of Mother in Psycho 4. I was like, that's
Oh,
fun.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't remember how many voices of Mother that they had. I guess they had a different one for each Psycho. I never really looked
I
into
mean,
that.
they may have. I haven't really looked into it myself. It's been a while since I've
Yeah,
probably watched anything other than the first one.
I
The
never
second
thought
one,
about it. The third one was really good. So like, I was surprised with the second and third of Psycho. I never watched four though, and I should because they were pretty good.
I thought it's sort of like that prequel vibe. He's sort of like sitting there talking on a like on a radio, like a call-in radio counselor or whatever about it, and you could like his past and then like him as a kid and everything. It's basically like
Yeah.
Bates Motel less drawn out. Which,
Oh,
by the way,
part four.
not a slam on that. I like Bates Motel, but
Oh
like,
my God,
yeah,
I love Bates Motel.
yeah. Just in terms of like, it's when he's young and like commits his earlier murders and jargon
Oh,
like that. Yeah,
that's what part four is.
yeah. And like,
Oh, okay.
so he's like out of prison or whatever, and I'm pretty sure he's seeing someone, and he's having the urges again, and so he calls up a thingo.
So it's probably not as good as two and three. I thought two and three were great.
It seems it's unnecessary, and they probably would have been better off, in my opinion, just doing a prequel story without the pretense of the
Mm,
flashback, like the telephone thing. But it's not really bad. It's just not amazing.
not as good as
It's
it
just,
could be.
I don't know. It's just, you know, something that doesn't really
I'm
need to be there, but it's not bad that it does.
I'm thinking that Psycho 2 and 3 probably did well enough, and then they're probably like, oh, we'll make a 4. And then
I think
that's
number
probably what
four
it
was a
was.
TV movie. I'm not 100%, but I think that was made
Oh,
for TV.
really?
Yeah, not
Interesting.
100% on that. Either it wasn't Either it was a TV movie or it just didn't receive a theatrical release. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Not sure
Anyway,
though. Yeah.
rest in peace, Alice Herson.
Yes.
You're awesome as Mavis. Oh, and she was also, if you watched Full House, she was Danny Tanner's mom in the first season.
Oh man, I wouldn't remember. I do know the show, but I just not with any consistency.
She's only in 3 episodes. All right. The first episode is Hit and Run, which we know what JR is going to do already, just by that title. Um, and JR checks in with the bad cop, McSwain,
Mm.
on their evil plot. We don't know exactly what he's doing yet, but we kind of did.
Yeah, we do.
Um, Cliff checks out his new office. It seems as though Marilee was fine with him leaving. We didn't see any of that happening. I wonder if they changed storylines during this because he was working with Mary Lee, and then all of a sudden it just like turned where he got. I feel like something might have been changed.
No, I think it was a way for them to redeem Mary Lee with Cliff because they wanted them in cahoots later.
Okay, that makes
That's at
sense.
least that's all at least I can think of. It's a way of reconciling the characters quickly without it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because they do
In
get
my,
involved pretty quick after this.
yeah, well.
So yeah, she was apparently fine with him leaving and starting with Rebecca. for that company that she bought. Rebecca and Afton discuss JR. Um, she warns him that they'll probably be button heads in the future, so just look out for him because he doesn't want anything to do with JR still at this point.
Yeah. Well, like even by the end of these episodes, I feel like he still doesn't want to like they don't want to. He doesn't want to like war with him, but he wants to at least be able to compete with him business wise. At least
Yeah.
in terms of a like a more legitimate competitive element.
But why does he always have to go to him? Which we'll get to when we get to it in the third
Yeah.
episode,
Yeah.
episode 9. But I'm like, why? Like, you just, yeah, I can't explain it. He just starts the shit. Like, if he didn't go to him, there probably wouldn't be a problem. You know what I mean?
True.
But
At this
he
point,
just,
true.
he just stirs the pot.
Yeah.
But
The
anyway,
thing is that Cliff's identity is tied into JR and the Ewing identity because of his
right.
father.
Yeah, I almost feel like it's just a given,
And
and
it's that eldest son Jack too, like it's that whole like, redeem the family name and all that male shit that the dads pressure the sons with.
yeah. So Punk discusses Jock's will with JR. Bobby and Harv are there too. There wasn't much there.
No, I think
Harv gives,
wasn't that just a meeting about how they're dividing it? Something like that.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it's also because Harv gives Punk that sealed letter
Oh
to be
yeah.
read at the time of the audit, which is important for the future. The end of this season or the beginning of next, I forget.
I think it's the
Um,
beginning of 7, not 100%, but yeah.
Frank calls Ellie for lunch. He wants to start seeing her, and they're being cute. Ray busts Mickey and the fellas gambling, so Mickey's still doing bad things, even though he's just got to town. Lucy goes back to work. She's dressed as Zorro, selling soda. It appears.
Yeah.
Um, that was entertaining. Lucy's very backburner. This is like I felt like they kind of wrote better for her until now. Like now it's just like they don't know what to do with her at all because she's hardly on. She's only in like 2 minutes here and there. Um,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
which she should have
There's
just went
not
to
really
Nazi
much to
ending.
say about Lucy. Like, it's like the stuff that they give her is done well, but it's
Yeah,
always that seminar. I mean, there's really never a time that it isn't.
right. Um, there. Oh, she called. Is this? Oh yeah, her lawyer calls, or she calls her lawyer. It's John Larroquette from a show called Night Court here in the United States.
He's also the
Um,
narrator of uh, the opening scribe work, like the opening crawl of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
is he? I didn't know that.
John Larroquette. Yep.
That's cool.
In 1969. Blah, blah, blah. This, that, that. Because I think
In
he
the
did the remake
original?
in the original, and I think he did do. Wait, I actually thought it was both, but I might be wrong
Oh,
about that because
that's
he's
silly.
alive for both.
The viewers that care about Texas Chainsaw can look into that.
I'm gonna have to double
We will
check
not
it because
because
I
she's about
actually
to
used to
end.
know this, so I'm annoyed now that I'm questioning it.
It's old age, man. It gets worse.
It's just
My
watching too
memory
much.
is
Man, it's
my
watching too
memory
much
is
series.
terrible.
It's just watching
Yeah,
too many things and
it is.
information retention. I'm usually pretty decent with it.
It's going downhill. Anyway, um, she has a divorce hearing. She's still in
Yeah,
divorcing Mitch or whatever, which I thought Mitch was
yeah.
going to come back, but sadly he does not.
No, I don't think it
Um,
comes back until later.
Phyllis shows Bobby the paper about Cliff and with his company. And part of the cartel and all of that stuff is involved with that. I just wanted to point out Phyllis was on, really, because she doesn't do too much, but we love Phyllis. Sue Ellen voices her concern to Pam and Ellie um, about Cliff because she's like nervous that it's going to start the war again and all this stuff. And so Pam ends up going to talk to Rebecca about JR. Rebecca wants Cliff to have the power behind him um, because she's just blames herself 100%. I feel bad for Rebecca. She definitely needs Dr. Albie.
Yeah, I think they all do.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Most of
Except
them.
Sue
They need to
Ellen.
just go to like family counseling.
Yeah. Although if Sue Ellen knew what was good for her, she would definitely stay away from JR because you know that fool's just gonna start doing his shit again, which he kind of does in one of these episodes. And I was like, how did she still stay with them after that? But whatever.
Well, to be fair, he wouldn't have let it go. He wouldn't have let it go too far.
Hmm. I don't know. Frank offers to be a friend to Ellie, like an ear, because he knows he got to take it easy with Ellie. She just lost Jock or whatever. I mean, it has been a long time by now, but it's maybe like a yearish, give or take. I
She
forget.
mentions was this is with the yeah, because doesn't he mention that he's a widower as well?
Yes.
Yeah, couple of
So they're
years
both
actually,
kind. Yeah. So they're both kind of moving on. I know,
attempting
and this
to
is
at least.
yeah. Um. Some oh wait, dudes. The dudes offer Cliff a deal. The same dudes that offered Bobby a deal that Bobby had turned down. I don't know what these guys are. So whatever.
Is
Some
it the
kind of
same guy?
the two dudes that keep offering the deals around, but nobody wants their deals. JR turned it down. Bobby turned it down. Cliff is looking into it. It's some, I don't know. It's some oil
What
shit.
is it? No, that because that's the bit where Cliff finds out that that Bobby actually took it.
Not yet. He didn't take it yet
Okay.
because they offered it to Cliff, and Cliff was like, "Oh, well, let me think about it." But then while he thinks about it, Bobby takes it.
Mm.
Um, so JR makes dinner plans with Walt. I forget what his name. Driscoll. Walt Driscoll.
Yeah.
Um, Ray introduces Mickey to the family. JR is a douchebag, of course. Oh, it's have some other crabs around here. It's gonna be real great, like some shit like that. Um, Lucy's lawyer suggests that Mitch might want her money, because he's entitled to get half of her money that she got from Jock.
Mm.
But we know Mitch. Mitch would never do that. But whatever.
Yeah. No,
Um,
he doesn't. Of course, he doesn't.
right. He's a good dude, even though whatever he has issues as well. Don't they all? Cliff meets with the cartel, bumps into JR and Sue Ellen. Um, Walt's wife is about to leave. I don't know where they're at, but she's about to leave from wherever she is. She hits a guy in the parking lot, offers to help. She's like very nice and friendly. Of course, there was another man there. He's like, no, he's just drunk. I'll get him to wherever. And she's like, okay. And then she gives some money to him, which apparently is a mistake. I didn't know that. I probably would do the same thing if somebody had done that.
No, no, that type of thing. Like, nah. Immediately, as soon as money is exchanged, it can be looked at as a way to keep
You're
them
paying
quiet
them off.
or not do anything. Yeah, you go call cops immediately. Like,
Right. But she was
yeah,
being nice, which we saw
yeah, she was. She's just an idiot. Like,
uh, who can't drive. Which, by the way, that
yes,
idiot is Martha Smith. I know her from Scarecrow and Mrs. King, a Kate Jackson program here.
okay.
She plays Carol Driscoll. She was also in the Charlie's Angels episode. She got killed in the beginning of one called Lady Killer. Anyway, I always got to bring up my angels and when
Yeah,
these
yeah,
people pop up.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so JR is with McSwain, and he's like, "Oh, I just thought I saw a hit and run because they're right across the street, witnessing the whole thing." So now they have the blackmail that they need, of course, for
Yeah.
Walt. Now, what I wonder what McSwain gets for this. Like, I guess he just gets paid off. Well, I don't know.
I'd say he'd just be get his yeah. There'd just be some JR probably has him like basically on a second wage.
It's like JR finds all these evil people that will do whatever they want to, like whatever, just to screw people over.
Well,
It's
I
sad
mean,
and scary.
arguably, arguably his type of corruption doesn't really lead anywhere outside of JR's own interests. So like,
Right.
and like it doesn't ever. It's all kind of. I mean, it's not good, obviously, but it's not like
Yeah.
he's like corrupt and like screwing over the police department. You know what I mean? He's sort of corrupt,
Right.
helping a rich man screw over his rich enemies.
Yeah.
But you're right. I
Um,
mean, obviously, completely like against the law, like and
I
all
start
that.
I, s- I start losing storyline a little bit with this politics shit with Donna. Um, Dave wants Donna to do some political meeting. I guess it's just so she's there to like give a voice of like what she thinks because she's smart. Um,
Is this over
Ray
the?
goes.
Is this over the OLM?
I think it's the first one of the OLM.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I think that like they're kind of looking at the OLM as kind of like old and a bit antiquated, and so like they're talking about it there. Obviously, it changes later, but
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think just from what I remember,
So it's
um,
just a meeting about the OLM, like seeing what they still do, I guess, or I didn't really get it.
I think it's like broader, but the OLM is brought up because obviously that's a plot thing later. It's just kind of I think about because everybody's kind of like not pumping at full scale. They're talking, they've got different. They made a lot of references about how like where the oil industry is at currently is a little bit not tenuous, but you know people have had to pull back on production and yada yada yada. So I think it
Yeah,
seems like
yeah,
it's just kind of a big old conflab about that sort of shit. And so obviously the OLM gets brought up there.
yeah. And I think Ray goes, but Ray's like, I don't know anything about that, but whatever, just go without me or go, whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Bobby meets with dudes again for that deal. It's the same
yeah,
deal that again. Oh
yeah,
yeah, I said that. He says he's in, so he does take the deal. Um, Meanwhile, at the Driscoll house, McSwain comes by. He says that something he saw. There was witnesses for the hit and run. Says the dude was seriously injured. I think he was in the ICU or something. He says. JR, of course, offers to help. Walt says he'll do anything. He owes him, and blah blah blah. So we all know. Whatever,
yeah.
JR got his way. Anything else about this episode?
Yeah, he's all
I
pretty
always li-
standard.
I always like when Dave's around. I like him, but at the same time, I just hate politics. So like, it just kind of bores me. As well, I'm like, oh great, we're gonna have some politics shit with Donna. But I love Donna. Um, so episode 8, the Ewing touch. JR is being shady about being involved in Petro. I guess Petro is that Holly's company? I think it's Petro. I don't know.
No, I'm
I think
pretty
it's
sure
Shell.
that's a dummy corporation that he set up.
Oh, the phony one. Yes, that's who
Yeah,
he's talking to. The guy that set up the phony one. Walt calls, talks about him having the variants. He wants them by 1 p.m. today. Walt says, "Listen, it takes time, whatever, but I guess he has to have them by 1 because JR and he'll blackmail him because he's a dick."
yeah,
I feel like they probably like if Walt would have I guess it was about scandal and stuff back then. Because I feel like Walt could have just went to them and said what happened, and it probably would have been worked out. But whatever. They didn't
yeah.
know they were being
JR
set
would have
up.
been probably charged with extortion, stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
And I also feel like, yeah, like I don't know, it would have probably been like her first offense, and she probably would have gotten off pretty easy. Like she clearly didn't know any better. And those guys might have disappeared at that point anyway, because JR probably would have paid him to leave the country or something.
yeah. Oh,
Um, So Cliff calls those dudes that made the deal with Bobby, and they say it's too late. He finds out that Bobby got it, but he didn't care at first until he found out that Pam helped. Then that gets him. But
yeah,
Pam unknowingly helped because she's Pam.
yeah. And
She
then of course
unknowingly
Cliff
does a lot
just
of things.
fires off at her
Yeah,
like he always does.
I know. Whatever, dude. Bobby and Pam get full adoptive custody of Christopher, so that's a happy moment. Walt comes through and JR sends him out of town. He says, "Get out of the country." I don't understand what is happening. Like, like, I guess what Walt did is illegal, because why else would he have to leave town with the
Yeah.
variant or whatever? I don't know.
Well, I don't know
Um,
if it's so much illegal, but it's sort of like clearly. like things like bribes and payoffs would be involved. It's one of those things that like the variance in of itself wouldn't be the issue. It's why he got it.
So how long is he supposed to leave town for? Just until things cool down,
Oh,
or
who
like
knows? They're
permanently?
very vague about it. They're very vague
Yeah,
about it.
true. Um, Ray, Dave, and Donna are at that political thing, which the OLML, dyslexic,
Yeah, and at
OLM.
this point, they know about Walt Driscoll giving the variance. Everybody's
Yeah.
confused, especially the JR's motivations. But Donna says, "Well, it's not the point though, because he's gotten it, but he's gotten one when no one else can, and like it's clearly a sign of corruption. So like we've got to like
Hmm.
review this. So it doesn't.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
she's trying to take it away from focusing so much on JR as much as the administration, the institution itself."
yes, which is good because somebody needs to take down the OLM because I think they're on JR's side for the most part. Um, and Ray leaves. Like he's like, "No, Donna, you stay here." And I think this is also like that rift we always see that happens between Ray and Donna. Like she's smarter than him, and he acts stupid, and then he just leaves. He can't just accept whatever. He seems like he's being okay, but I know it's probably leading to something between them.
Uh,
A rift,
it's just that thing he has. I mean, he could always try and learn.
right?
I mean,
Um,
it's not, it goes both ways, but I'm just saying, like, yeah.
yeah, I mean, he does have his own thing going on too, so he's got to deal with Mickey and everybody at the ranch and all that shit. So
Yeah.
whatevs. He should be busy enough not to care what Donna does. Donna, you do your political bullshit. I'll do my thing, and we can still be married and love each other. Like deal with that. But yeah, he's cool right now, but I know he's going to flip out eventually. We know how we know how Ray is. Clayton and Sue Ellen catch up. She wants him to move to Dallas, and she also wants him to give her away. Um, which I thought he was going to say no because I forgot what he said, but he said I would be honored to. But I thought he was going to be like, as long as you're marrying that dude, no, I can't. But he cares about her and he wants whatever her to be happy, even though I guess he feels like if JR steps out of line, like he would step in and do something if he had to. That's probably what he's thinking
Yeah.
because he would be there for Sue Ellen. She got a friend for life out of him, or a dad figure, a father figure
A
in
proper
her
father
eyes.
figure, considering she never had a dad growing up.
Yeah, she had an asshole mom that pushes you to rich men. Um, Ellie talks to Rebecca. Um, Rebecca has good points. I don't like how Ellie handled the situation because it's
Because Ellie,
true.
because Ellie does what the Ewings always do and doesn't take accountability.
Hmm.
Whole situation there. I was watching that and I'm like, Ellie, don't get frustrated. You completely avoided accountability.
Yeah.
And you're going to
Um,
sit
be-
there and cry that Rebecca should just get over it. The only part that was
yeah.
true that I feel like Ellie answered honestly was the bit where she goes, would you be so forgiving if it was your sons? And Ellie honestly answered, I would hope so.
I would hope
It's
so.
an
Yeah.
honest answer. Yeah, it's an honest answer. But
Uh-huh.
the entire thing is, oh, but that's over now. It's over, therefore it doesn't matter, right? It's like, no, you're just completely avoiding accountability, just like your
Yep.
son does. And we all wonder where JR gets it from.
Right. But yet we still love Miss Ellie. Like why?
Well,
Like, I guess it's part of
Miss Ellie
McGetty's
is
in the acting.
the thing is one thing that I like about the show to a degree, especially because it's from like 30, 40 years ago, is that it's not kind of beholden to the structures and tropes of today. So like
Mm,
the characters are a little bit more authentic in their contemporary time because it's from that time. And
right.
so I think that like Ellie is not right, not wrong. She's just like that's what I like about it. It's all very like old TV and
A sign of the times.
but the characters are very diverse. They're layered. They're not one thing or another. Like
Right.
obviously JR's the
Like
villain, but even he isn't one thing or another.
right. Like you like them at certain times and whatnot.
Yeah. because basically in life, people annoy the fuck out of you sometimes, and other times they don't. Right?
Right.
Yeah, and this is one of
But
those
not you,
times where.
subscribers. We love you.
But yeah,
So
so
yeah,
I think
shit.
that's kind of what I like about it. So like, and that the actors are actually good enough at the characters that they're portraying, and
Great
know
enough.
to be able to have those. Well, it was like we were saying, Priscilla Pointer and Barbara Bel Geddes at different times are able to create, or at least put completely conflicting expressions on their face that sort of perfectly match the moment. You know,
Right.
like Rebecca, even when we talked about when her and Pam first met, and the way she sort of, you can see she knows exactly what she's talking about, but she rebukes her and pushes her away. You know, just stuff like that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think there's I don't know, you don't see it quite. Obviously, it's different, like it's different filming styles and everything, but there is a level where I feel like there's less going on in an actor's face sometimes these days. You know, I like
Right.
I like older actors and their ability to be able to do that.
So yes, he says, "What if it was one of your boys? If Jr. steps out of line again, we'll destroy him." And that's when Ellie, of course, steps up. Um,
Like, well, Rebecca, I tried, sort of. It's now
yeah, sort of.
that's what I
And
always say. Because if it ever really does, is sort of try.
Jr. has a plan to get control of Ewing, which he, of course, doesn't tell us.
Mm.
Ray looks for Mickey. He's MIA. Lucy is dressed like a big doll doing this photo shoot. We got this guy Bill there, who plays Spider-Man in the old Spider-Man live action. Nicholas Hammond, I
Oh,
think, is his name.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but he compliments her. He seems kind of into her. He asks her out. She's like, "No, I don't want to date anybody. I hate people." She's
She's like, I
traumatized
don't
right
date
now.
clients,
Yeah, she's been
which I
through it
can
with Roger.
completely understand.
She probably don't want to date anybody right now. She has no interest, which I feel like is true because once she gets involved with the Mickey, talking to Mickey and stuff, it's still kind of the same.
What I sort of think, right, is I'm looking at this sort of now from, I guess, once again, like a nowadays perspective. And I see a woman, and generally, like, obviously, they should have done more with Lucy. But for the context,
Of
I
course.
see a woman confronting what would actually probably be horrifically triggering moments regarding her environment. And she's actually tackling those in a legitimate, constructive way. So she's gone to her bosses. She's only working with women, as in photographers, stuff like that. Like she's created these boundaries, blah blah blah. And then yet the show doesn't focus on that or anything like that. They just have her
Yeah,
reject some dude who looks like he's pissed off about it afterwards. And I'm like,
yeah, it's weird.
not only would she not want to date anybody, most likely at this point,
Yeah,
she's probably in like making sure she's not in meltdown mode. I mean, like even the freaking photographer says, am I making you nervous? Like stuff like that because Lucy's supposed to seem off. You know what I mean? So like
yeah, yeah.
it just I don't know. I'm like, dude,
The female photographer. I
yeah. Oh no, I meant like the
like
Spider-Man.
that girl. No, no,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know. I just
yeah.
wanted to
No,
point
but
out
like,
it's a female now that we talked about.
there's just such a big potential of characterization there and development that they
Yeah,
just don't do anything with.
mm-mm.
It's
I
a little
know.
frustrating. I mean,
It
and
is.
I still love Dallas, but it is actually frustrating with Lucy sometimes.
Yeah, it is because they had so much potential all the time. They could have done so much with Mitch and her, but it just fell flat a lot of
They could
times.
really have done a lot with Lucy's healing storyline too here. Like,
A
very much,
lot, yeah.
yeah.
They could have played out at least half the season or more.
Just actual character development. Like we obviously know she's depressed, and we see everything in snippets, and it's just obviously you don't
Yeah,
want a whole episode of her just being morose, but like and upset. But like I don't
right.
know, just it could have just been done better.
Totally. The Ewings celebrate having custody of Christopher, so everybody's there. Ellie wants to do dinner the next night and invite Frank and introduce him to the family. Everybody's like, because they're like, What's this? Is Ellie
The
dating? What
most
is this?
ridiculous line from JR where he's just like, "Isn't it a little bit soon?" I'm like, "Your dad's been dead for like a year and a half."
Right.
Like, and then not getting married, you douchebag. He's literally coming over
I know.
for dinner.
Just coming for dinner. Yeah, exactly. I know. Even
Yeah.
Bobby's concerned too. They're all like,
At least
mm,
Bobby's polite about it, though.
he
God,
is.
JR's
Yeah, for
like
sure.
got the whole "I'm the man of the household." And it's like, boy, shut up.
JR doesn't want anyone to be happy. Like it's
No,
true.
It's
Like
like,
he does
it's like,
not.
it's like, boy,
He
who do
would
you think
like
you're talking to? Go to your room.
he wants Bobby there without Pam. He wants his mama there without anybody. Like he just wants everybody to be miserable and be at home. Like that's what he wants. But what it seems like.
Not marry any Barneses and not get with any was it money grubbing in laws and like
Right.
yeah, God.
Um so Cliff and Afton talk about Pam.
What's
Um
that? Wait a minute. What's that line? I just quickly flashed to a line. Is it in the reboot series where JR says like I'm 1-0 on Pamela's or something like that? And
oh, I don't remember that.
because I'm pretty sure he's talking to Cliff's daughter in the reboot or whatever. I swear there's some
I think
hilarious
you're right.
line where I swear there's a hilarious line there where he quips about Pam and that he's like
Yeah.
he's actually up one on Pamela's, so don't take him sort of thing. And I was just laughing about it. Anyway, like, I just flicked to it in my head, and yeah,
Oh, how I wish Victoria Principal went to that show.
it yeah, it would have been nice to redeem Pam's shitbox writing towards the end there because
It
that's
would
what it
have
is.
been really great.
Sort of the only
It
time
really
I would
is.
sit there and say they did the wrong, a proper wrong, because a complete character betrayal. But anyway, we'll get to
Yeah, we'll get to it because that's a lot. I got a lot to say. So
it.
we got a few seasons. Um,
Yeah, thank.
Ray finds Mickey at a bar, loaded with these two girls. Ray gets pretty stern with them, being like a father figure, and I guess that kind of helps him because in the next scene he's actually like decent with Ray, so that's
Yeah,
nice. He gets a little leeway with them for now, this minute. JR meets with dudes to pump the oil or whatever. Some dude, I don't understand what the point of this was, but some guy comes for Jock's car. And she's like, "Yeah, do whatever you want with the car."
I think it's
I
just
didn't.
supposed to. So I think it's the idea of like another memory, So and she's kind of approaching it. So like what do they reckon with like grief and things like like trauma and stuff like that. Um,
Right.
you'll come across things through your healing that kind of make you grieve for it all over again. So each time there's
Mm.
a grief moment, you'll feel like you're fine, and then something else will hit you, and you feel like you're stepping back because you're grieving again. It's like, and I actually think that they do this sort of little moment here quite well because I think it's about Ellie actively choosing to try and not stay in the past because she's actually talking to this man. She likes him so far. She's invited him to meet the family. Like I think it's an actual attempt to try and show Ellie actively moving on. And obviously, keeping Jock's car is not necessarily something that's going to. I can understand why she might keep some of his favorite suits and like some of his belongings and stuff, but the car really isn't. That's something you'd give to the boys or Lucy.
I thought she said keep the car though. She's like, do
No,
whatever.
no,
I guess.
no, no. But like my point is not where it goes. It's just that she's not
Right.
wrong.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. I guess whatever he gets done to the car, he gets done every year. Probably just like a check on it. I don't know.
yeah, probably just like a
Um.
service or something, man.
Yeah. Cliff goes off on Pam. She didn't know, but he's all mad. She didn't even know what she was involved in and all that stuff.
Poor Pam. That's
Um,
usually how she gets in trouble.
I think, oh yeah, Bobby's in Houston. He gets tough about his supplies. Where are my supplies at? Apparently, JR had canceled them once the will was all read, whatever. So
Yeah,
he's
JR
not
being
making he's not making life easy for Bobby as always. JR meets with Holly. We got Holly again. She comes on to him this time. Um, and he says he's trying to be good for Sue Ellen because he's getting married in a little bit. We know that won't last long. Um, Lucy and Bill, like, I guess get together for lunch even after she said no. I guess they do. She seems to get like a little nervous and like just leaves. She's like, I can't do it. Whatever. I'm out. I think he just starts talking like flirty with her and like trying to come on to her, and she just ain't having it. She ain't ready. Frank gets over there for the family dinner. He's making Ellie happy, joking around with her. Lucy has her divorce trial. It's granted, of course. Mitch didn't show up. I don't know if he was supposed to. I know he moved to Atlanta or something.
No, I think there's a
Um,
letter saying there that he's not contending anything and they're not asking for anything.
yeah, of course, because we
It
know
was
how Mitch
something
is.
like that, but I'm pretty sure they said something about a statement, some nonsense.
Yeah. Um, Bobby confronts JR about the parts, and JR, he said, "Well, I'm not going to make it easy," basically, and that's what it is. Donna wants Ellie to go to a meeting with her. The OLM dissolution is where continuing on.
Yeah,
Um, JR pressured, has the variants. They talk about all that stuff. Donna says that they're corrupt and to get rid of them, which we talked about. And they want to get a new group in because I guess they're all a bunch of old timers that are shady AF. They talk about stopping JR, and then it ends with him trying to get a refinery from a dude. So I thought he got a refinery for Holly's business. Maybe he didn't get it yet. Did he
no,
get one for her?
she bought the refineries. Yeah,
So she has a refinery. So what does he wants a refinery for all his oil? So what is I don't know what he's doing.
mm. And he's got a dummy corporation that he's going to sell it all under.
Yeah, I still don't know what he's doing.
It does
Business
play
stuff
out.
confuses me.
This is because I want to say that everybody gets crazy angry about it later because I'm pretty sure he ends up going on a big. He puts all that. I gotta remember. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's something along the lines of like when he does get it all done, it all goes out to sell, and that obviously pushes the prices down. And because he's the one that's selling the most of it out there, he's the only one really making a profit out of it.
And he's keeping the oil pumping too, so he does need a refinery. But he has a
Yeah.
dummy corporation set up. I don't know.
I'm pretty
It's
sure
a
the dummy
lot.
thing is to sell it. The dummy thing is to sell
Okay.
it. Yeah. So it gets like I think he's just trying to like I'm not exactly sure what the two refineries are for. I can't bloody remember, but I know that when he does it, that's why this is why Holly's hitting on him and stuff because she knows something's up.
So she's trying to
Yeah, she
keep
doesn't.
him
She's not touching
closer.
the JR, man. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she even said something like, were you mad or whatever? Because I told you I was attracted to your brother or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, I can't remember exactly, but I'm fairly certain that when he does actually sell it all, people get pissed off because it pushes the, because he's basically just, I'm pretty sure he puts more oil, like, there's, you put too much oil in the market, it pushes the prices down.
But people are seeing, like, I feel like people are seeing him do this, like, through the OLM and stuff. So how come nobody can stop him? Do you know what I mean? Like, can't they figure out what he's doing? Or you think
Well, that's, I
it's,
think, what the OLM was supposed to do. It's the Office of Land Management. So the fact that he was given a
oh, but
variance
they're not.
is the problem, because, like, he wouldn't be able to pump as
Oh,
much. From what I can
okay.
gather, because as far as I know, the OLM, at least in Dallas, is a fictional administration. So unless it's like something that's actually, I'm sure there'd be
That makes sense.
an actual regulatory body somewhere. But like,
Sorry, I need, like, Dallas for dummies.
no, no, no. It's more like it's more how it sounds to me
Right.
as a governing institution, at least as far as
Yeah.
the talk about it. And I try and put that in the context of like just general like things that you know about law and order, like
Right, right.
and yeah, like obviously it would be different because I'm over here, you guys are over there, but I imagine that
Yeah.
there would be some sort of regulatory body that, and I mean, there are probably fans that actually know a lot more about land management in the US. If so, comment. I don't know shit about the oil industry, so
Me neither, and I'm
it'll be
here.
really interesting though. But I do know things like I said, I can't remember with season 6, but I know everybody gets pissed off when he puts so much of it out. And I think it is
Right,
because
right.
Chris's voice is down, but I can't exactly remember.
So
And at some point it goes to an embargoed nation, which I know is legal.
episode 9, Fringe Benefits. I forgot about this, and just seeing it again with Afton, I'm like, oh.
I know,
It's almost
I
like
know.
the beginning of the end.
Uh,
Um,
yes and no.
so, and what JR does with Sue Ellen, too, I'm not happy with. But anyway, JR and Sue Ellen are at dinner by themselves. I think they're still using her apartment. She's not fully moved in yet, right?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah,
Um, so they're by themselves. Um, he says something about, oh, will you do me a favor, be a hostess for this refinery deal, dude? I forget it, I got his name. Gil? Is it Gil? I think it's Gil. Um, then we, then I guess she agrees, whatever. Afton is singing in the next scene, a different song than her other past songs. Um, Gil wants to meet her, asks about the Ewing connection because she was connected to the Ewings through or her brother. But she's like, oh no, that they're divorced or whatever, and we're not. I have nothing to do with the Ewings anymore. Then she kind of is like, well, maybe come back tomorrow. Suddenly, like it clicks because she knows about the refinery. I guess he said something
yeah.
about it. So she's like, meet back here
Because
tomorrow.
Cliff's been paddling on about deals and refineries lately as well.
Yeah. So she knows it's important to Cliff.
Yeah,
Ellie questions about the OLM and him pumping lots of oil. See, she knows. She talks to JR about it.
it should be
And
noted
there,
that the story is actually so. It should be noted that while we're sort of sitting here and I'm saying I can't remember exactly what happens, the story is deliberately keeping JR's motives ambiguous. So, like, we know he's doing stuff, we know he's being a sneaky dog, but like, we're not exactly sure what part of
right.
fits with the plan. So, it is actually weaved into the story that the audience isn't supposed to know exactly what JR's doing.
And of course, to get Miss Ellie off the track, JR brings up Frank, and it totally deters her and makes her go away. She's like, whatever,
Yeah,
Frank's just
it
a friend, whatever.
derails everything.
But it stops her from asking questions. So that's what I'm sure he wanted from that.
Well, yeah,
Um, Afton brings up Gil to Cliff about his refinery. Come meet him at the club tonight, whatever, he's going to be there.
yeah.
JR tries another dude. I don't know why I wrote that. Another dude. JR gets Gil to come. Oh, he was talking to some other guy. I don't know who that guy was. He gets Gil to come for dinner to meet
Oh, is
Sue
it the
Ellen.
white-haired fellow in the golf cart?
I think so. Yes.
That's just another deal, dude. That was just one of those other long-term deals. I think that was just to more establish the headspace that JR and Bobby are in, because Bobby and JR both kind of, don't go for it because it's gonna take too long. And it's also, I found this episode to be predominantly like kind of like a little summary of the type of dynamic that we find later on in the series when all three of them are kind of like more directly competing and attacking each other.
Mm.
So yeah, so in this it's sort of like it bounces back. Like Cliff's trying to gain a little bit of confidence and a little bit of his own I can do it on my own type vibe by going with creepy mustache man. I can't say his name and I can't bloody remember it. The
Yeah,
guy
it's fine. There's too many guys.
yeah, he's a good actor though. He oozes sleaze in a way that's pretty gross.
Oh,
And
Gil, right? Yeah, he does.
yeah,
He does.
um, that old fella in the golf cart, I think he's just talking about like a sort of more long-term investment deal that apparently is going to get them good money, like really good money. But it's just the boys aren't really looking at it in the right way because they
Yeah,
need
I
money
think JR and
someday.
Bobby both. Well, I think he says he doesn't want to do business with JR, but he says I'll do business with Bobby, but then Bobby doesn't is not interested.
Yeah. Well, golf
Um,
cart man gets rejected, and he says, "Do you mind if I ask Bobby about it?" And JR's like, "Oh
right.
no." And he even says, "I kind of hope he does go for it." And it's a double entendre there because JR would get the benefits of the deal and still win, essentially. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Frank and Ellie do lunch. He says he's going back east for a bit, so I guess we're losing Frank already. I think that was just like a stepping stone, almost like a
It's
rebound for Ellie.
well, it's showing us. Ellie's healing stages.
Yes. And it also, you know, I feel like a lot of people wouldn't want Ellie in a relationship right away, and I also feel like that was the buffer for that too, because we all obviously know what happens coming up soon.
It takes
Which I
years
always
for it to properly happen. It only, and by the
yeah,
time he gets remarried, it's like what he's been in the show for like 4 or 5 years.
I want Jessica here now. I love that woman.
She's so weird
Bobby,
and crazy.
Bobby talks to a dude that is not Team JR. I think that's the bringing the oil wells in guy or whatever, that old man.
Yeah,
Or he might be only 50, but whatever. He looks old. Um, Cliff wants the cartel to help him get the refinery. JR wants Pam and Sue Ellen. Um, oh, wait, I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah, they get the refinery that JR wants. Pam and Sue Ellen have a nice moment. They shop for her wedding dress or whatever. I guess this is where we get like our friendship of them officially because they're like, we can't let our men ruin our friendship
yeah.
and all that stuff,
I actually
even
think it's
though
good that they. I actually think it's really good that they do this because I think there's a lot of presumptions about how they would be, especially since after Pam, like helped her with like John Ross and everything. But
yes,
it's nice. I guess like it's nice to see the characters not only interacting in melodramatic moments. Like I like little moments like these. It's they don't do it as often, but it's nice when JR has little human moments. When they're not just the larger than life character.
yeah. I like this too because I'm also thinking like, yeah, now like they're friends or whatever, but we have JR. Like they always use things later on, like how JR. We know that he still doesn't like Pam, but they are, I guess, playing along to get along for now. But you know,
He's used to it.
as soon as the opportunity comes, though, like we see, like where he's like, I can get rid of
Yeah,
Pam now. Like,
yeah.
um, it's
JR's
just it's
he's used to living around family he really doesn't like. So like,
right. Nobody likes him, so he was
well,
supposed to move
true
out,
about that
and
too.
he never did. But
Come on,
anyway,
like the thing is, Bobby likes JR. He just gets friggin' pissed off with him. That's the thing. When those two boys are actually on the same page, they work like that's the best thing about their chemistry, and something that I think the show touches on in between the fights is that when they actually
right,
work together, they're pretty much like they'll get you, like.
yeah,
And you see, I think it
um,
kind of meant in the later series, in later episodes, don't we see them kind of take people down together?
yeah.
I can't remember exactly, but
Um,
yeah,
Yeah, I know. I like later on seasons when they get along a little bit more.
mm,
Um, Cliff tries for a deal with Gil for the refinery, and he's like, "Oh, well, you know, maybe we could work out a deal." Of course, he's looking at our Afton. Ew. Um, Pam tells Rebecca to come by Southwark sometime. Rebecca doesn't see the baby enough, and she hasn't gone to Southwark because she don't want anything to do with the Ewings.
yeah,
Pam
pretty much
feels
it.
a certain way. She's like, "You're more Team Cliff than you are Team me," basically. Um, and she's upset about it, but she's like, "Listen, I feel guilty. This is how it is. Sorry."
Yeah, she's
That's
like,
how
I feel guilty.
Rebecca
Yeah, it was like, I feel
is.
guilty and he needs my support.
Yeah,
And she even says, she's like, Cliff, Cliff can do that on his own. And she's like, no, he can't. Not at the moment,
right,
but he
right.
will. And it's like, she's, I can understand where she's coming from. But like, to be fair, she does kind of do nothing until something happens.
Yeah,
She does keep to her word more than some others. Like,
yeah. So
I
this
just,
is where okay,
oh no, it was just more about like, you know, just in general, the family's not really doing anything to sort of stop the proper feuding. You got to take accountability, this and that.
yeah,
You got
yeah,
to stop actually being vengeful and actively plotting. Like,
right. JR meets with that dude, John is his name, the
oh
golf
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
For
oh
something, he says he would rather deal with Bobby. Punk visits Bobby about the will. I don't think he really does anything major that we need to know about.
No, he wants to get Bobby to. It's not really that. It's more a reflection of like the outside Dallas community. So like, obviously we've seen like the OLM, blah blah blah. Well, punk is kind of like the social circles and stuff like that, you
Right.
know. And people are actively getting worried about what the hell JR's doing. And he's like, I
Yeah.
don't want to actually interfere with anything, but this is weird. Do you know anything? And basically, Bobby, is like, all right, well, I don't. And he is running his business his way, which is his right, but I can
Right.
poke it, sort of thing.
Because
So he agrees to help.
Bobby
Yeah.
does find out that JR has lots of oil and wonders what he's doing with it.
Mm.
So I guess I'll look into it more. I don't know. Because I know he's trying
Yeah,
to do
he
his
does
own
say
thing
something like he's
too.
going to poke around or some jazz. So, obviously he does, and Bobby ends up having to go. And God, the amount of times they're competing here, and there's quite a few times where Bobby just has to save that idiot's ass.
Yeah. Um, Gil goes for dinner at Sue Ellen's. He kind of comes on to her, which I was not happy about. Of course, we know that it was kind of set up by JR. Donna calls Ray. Politics is keeping her busy. That's all I have.
Well, that's pretty much it. It's just that it. Yeah, I think it's just to
Just to
establish
throw a
that.
wrench in their
Yeah,
relationship.
establish it,
JR
that'd be better.
JR finally gets to Sue Ellen's for dinner and she gets mad. She's like, and Gil's like, I want to leave, whatever, because he didn't get to have sex with Sue Ellen like he wanted. And JR like apologizes. He's like, oh, I never would have let it get that far. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
believe
trust
that
JR like you do.
the way that went. Okay, so like the way that went at the start, I get what you're saying. He went there. He definitely showed up late deliberately, but he would have thought like because Jazz sleeps, he would have just been like, oh, that's where Sue Ellen can lightly flirt and get him settled and all that. No, he grabs Sue Ellen. Like that dude just grabs him and is entitled. I don't think JR would have meant that. Not for a woman that he's going to marry. No, I don't think that. Yeah, it doesn't mean
Yeah,
that he
but
still.
I don't know.
It, you know, I
He shouldn't have put her in that situation,
no, he
period.
shouldn't. No, no, definitely not. She could have at least been there, but
And she should have been more mad. I would have left. She should have been, get out of my apartment.
yeah,
I need to
obviously,
think.
yeah, yeah. Obviously, there's those sort of things, but I personally don't think he took the wrong thing, but I don't think JR would have let it go too far because that looked like it was going to turn into an assault.
Yeah,
So I
because
don't think.
Gil's a sleaze.
I honestly think JR is probably chauvinistic enough to think that that wasn't even going to happen. Like, you know,
So Bobby turns John down for his offer,
yeah,
whatever the offer was, the longer thing that you talked about.
yeah,
Afton asks Cliff if the refinery is important to him. She stays with Gil. You after she meets with him.
well,
Cliff
it's
goes
because
off.
Cliff tells her that he just wants to be able to win at a straight deal, and I guess beating JR is that idea of like beating the best, you know?
Yeah, and she kind of thinks she has to do what she's got to do to help him, but we all know it ain't pretty.
Well, Cliff
Um,
says flat out he doesn't want to do it through trickery or chicanery or any of that other jazz. He says that openly. He's competitive, but he doesn't want it. He wants a real,
he
tangible
wants to
win.
get it on his own, right?
Yeah, which is
Um,
perfectly reasonable.
so Afton gets back or whatever the next day. Cliff goes off on her a little bit. It's like, where you
Mm,
been? We all know where she's been. It's not.
yeah.
It's kind of implied, but like we know.
Oh yeah, we know,
Um,
and like it's you don't need. That's the thing. They didn't need to really show it. Afton's. It was been written on
yeah,
Afton's face since she eyed that creep off. Like since
yeah.
she noticed him looking.
Ellie and Ray discuss Jocksville, Bobby versus JR, and all that stuff. Goes to Cliff and says, "You win the refinery." So we know.
Yeah.
Pam talks to Bobby about her mama and Sue Ellen, and she wants to move away.
Mm.
Bobby gets crazy, and he's like, "I'll never back off, never." And okay, Pam's like, "What the fuck?" So that was the look on her face. She was
Yeah.
like, "What? All right, dude."
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Uh, Cliff goes to tell JR about getting Gil's refinery. This is where he does it. Why would you tell him? Why can't you just get your refinery
Because he
and
has
move
to
along?
gloat. Because he has to gloat.
Why?
It's no different than when JR comes in. He's like, "I destroyed you. You just don't know it yet." They've always got
Yeah,
to
that's
gloat.
true. That is true.
They've always got to
Um,
gloat.
and then Cliff says, like, everyone's on my side this time. I got the cartel. I got my mama. I got my sister. Well, not my sister, but and then JR does have a look of concern on his face as he leaves. But of course, we know that now JR is going to try to get Cliff. Literally 9 episodes after, or 8 episodes after he was still in the hospital.
Yep,
So Cliff is right back at it, being a fool.
pretty
I
much.
just don't get it.
Just he's just gloating and talking his smack, and you know that JR's just going to take it as the challenge because he does. And
And JR's already working on like this master plan, so now all he really has to do is throw throw Cliff like a hook. Be like, "Here you go," and then I'm sure Cliff will buy the fake refinery or whatever that he has. Like, but that's all I got.
yeah, I think that's
So
just yeah, that was where it was. It ended.
solid episodes. Always entertaining. The politics stuff bores me, but I get why it's there.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just establishing the climate of the sort of uh, the climate of the environment that all these like executive types are working in, and it sets up JR. It's pushing JR as like, what the hell is he doing? Like it's for the audience. It's not just the family asking; it's the surrounding parts of the city as well. Like the
they're slow building Mickey as well, which I didn't remember. I thought I remembered it going pretty quick, but I guess not because he wasn't even
that's a
in
long
like one of
season.
these
It's a
episodes.
decently long season.
Yeah, yeah. Um, what else? I like that we established him and Sue Ellen as friends.
Yeah,
So even though their men might go at it, they might actually remain friends for a little bit.
they
Where
mostly
remember
do.
Sue
I think
Ellen
they
was an asshole. Remember Sue Ellen was an asshole to her the last time they were battling it out.
Yeah, I think they do actually bicker a little bit as well from memory, but they don't actually outright fight.
Yeah, they don't. I remember they do have a fight at some point, but it's they kind of work it out in that same scene, maybe even. If
Yeah, yeah, I'm
it's
pretty
not
sure.
even
Yeah,
for a while.
Jolan
I feel like
apologized.
it's not even till like season 7. I don't think, or maybe even
No, I
later.
think it's literally the same episode. They fight, and then like a
Yeah,
scene happens later, and they apologize to each other. So
yeah. I
that's
always liked it. I always wish they did more when they went to Japan together. I remember it being like a short thing, but I actually
yeah,
like that.
that actually wouldn't have been too bad.
They should have given it a little story, but they really didn't. It was just like, oh, we're in Japan and then we're home.
Yay!
Um,
Konnichiwa!
I'm I'm not excited for because I looked up because I'm like I know Rebecca goes soon, and I looked up and it's only like 6 episodes, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
or maybe a little. It might be 7 or 8 episodes away from where we're at, but it makes me sad. I really like having
yeah.
her around.
It would have been. There's a couple of like the sort of overseas trips that I think would have been a little bit. Like, I mean, don't in the later seasons, don't the boys like go over to Russia or at least Eastern Europe, and it's like
Yes,
definitely like
yes,
done and gone into like,
yeah, yeah. I want to say
uh,
13,
yeah,
maybe 12. I don't remember. I don't think Sue
and
Ellen was on anymore when they did that. Maybe she was.
I can't
I can't
remember.
remember. I know it's definitely like way later.
It's just when they get all
Um,
cultural, but they're still stereotypes.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, oh well. I mean, it's still fun, but I'll
yeah.
see.
It's still fun. But I look forward to the next 3. We'll still have Rebecca for now,
Yeah,
temporarily. But anything else to add for these episodes?
no, not really.
All right. Well, if you're seeing us, we're on Patreon right now, exclusively early access. And thank you, subscribers, Patreon subscribers, everybody. We love you. Come back for more Dallas season 6 next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.